Sea Striker presents Flounder Fishing with native guide Brian Goodwin.
Hi, I'm Brian Goodwin. Welcome to a special presentation brought to you by Sea Striker on how to catch flounder. We'll be going over some of the best locations to catch flounder, the best times to catch flounder, and some of the best methods to catch flounder. So let's get started by looking at some of the more popular rigs for catching flounder. This is one of the more popular flounder catching rigs called the Sea Striker Fluke Killer rig. Made up of heavy-duty mono with a snelled flounder hook, bucktail, beads, and a spinner. Another of Sea Striker's more popular flounder rigs is the Captain's rig, utilizing chartreuse color with a bucktail and a streamer for added attraction. Now that you've seen some of the rigs that can help make flounder fishing easy, let's go out drift fishing, one of the more popular and effective ways to catch flounder. Today, we're going to be baiting our rig with a finger mullet. The way I rig the finger mullet is basically taking the flounder hook and the finger mullet, going right up underneath the finger mullet's mouth, up through the mouth, through the top of his head. The whole purpose of drifting is to let the boat move with the current. That way, the rig that you're using has a more natural movement and appearance as it crosses the bottom. The best types of places to drift for flounder are usually around inlets or areas close to inlets where you have lots of movement of current. The best times to fish for flounder are usually around the last of an incoming tide or the first of a falling tide. As you can see from the movement in the tip of the rod, we're drifting across the bottom. Basically what we want to do is drift from areas of deep water into shallow water and back into deep water. We call these depth transition zones, and they are perfect places to find flounder. I just thought I felt a flounder bite. Ooh! I've got him. Now what I did was I dropped that tip of the rod back momentarily and gave the flounder a chance to take the bait. And there he is. I barely had that flounder hooked. Now I barely had this flounder hooked in the mouth here, and that is a perfect example of why it is very important to drop your line back and give the flounder a chance to grab the whole bait. Now this flounder was barely hooked, and I probably should have dropped my line back a little bit more for a better hook set. When you're fishing in an area for flounder, it's very important to try different lures and different rigs to find out what is working best in that area. What I'm getting ready to try right now is the new Sea Striker Trout, Flounder, and Fluke rig with a gold flounder hook, snelled for strength, with a few green beads and a chartreuse spinner. We're drifting over a shoal area now, and what I'm getting ready to do is to put on a larger bait. Larger baits tend to catch larger flounder. We're drifting over this shoal now, getting ready to drop off into a deeper area of water. As you're drifting along, it's very important that when you feel the flounder bite, to drop your rod tip back at least 2 or 3 feet to give the flounder an extra opportunity to bite the bait. Okay, I just felt a bite, dropping the rod tip back. Ooh, got him. This is a really nice flounder here. Being patient often pays off. Make sure my drag's loose enough. Flounder are very powerful fighters, and it's very important that you keep your drag fairly loose. There he is. Nice flounder. There we go. This is a really nice fish. As often happens, the bait comes off from the flounder violently shaking his head. In a situation like this where you have a very large flounder on the line, the snelled hook, the strength from a snelled hook comes in very handy. Flounders' mouths are very tough, and it often comes in handy to have a pair of Sea Striker pliers when you're dehooking your fish. As you can see, Sea Striker has made flounder fishing easy. Now let's take a look at the Sea Striker Gotcha Soft Plastic, an artificial lure that has proven itself one of the best for catching flounder. The Sea Striker Gotcha Soft Plastic is now available molded with natural shrimp. Thread the Gotcha lead head through the grub so that ultimately the curve in the tail and the curve in the hook are in the same direction. The Gotcha grub can be tied directly to your line without swivels or leaders. Some people will leave a loop at the end of their line for extra action. Now that you've seen how to rig this remarkable lure, let's go out and see it being used. The white grub with the red firetail is an excellent flounder attractor, an excellent all-around artificial lure for flounder. You want to work the grub similar to the way you would work the grub fishing for trout, with the slow, rhythmic retrieval. Flounder usually hang out in the marsh creeks almost year-round, with the best time to fish for flounder here during the late spring, summer, and early fall. Flounder will feed on a variety of natural baits, but artificial baits often work well. The best times to find flounder up in the marsh creeks are during the last part of an incoming tide or during the first part of an ebb tide. Okay, I feel like a flounder has just grabbed the lure. Wait a split second for the flounder to take it. Set the hook. Got him. Got a good-sized flounder on here. Keeping my drag fairly loose so I don't break my line. And there he is. He's coming into view. Flounder have very tough mouths, and he looks like he's hooked well. So once I get him up towards the side of the boat, I'll tighten my drag a little bit. And get the dip net under it. That's a really nice flounder. We've got the hook set very well here. Flounder have very tough mouths, so it's a good idea to have a pair of Sea Striker pliers handy to aid in hook removal. As you can see, the white Gotcha grub with the red firetail can produce some really nice flounder. We hope you've enjoyed this special presentation brought to you by Sea Striker. Keep in mind that Sea Striker has everything you need for your next flounder fishing trip. So get out there and make your next trip both productive and enjoyable.